The savior of Ukraine.
Oh!
The conqueror of Nagorno-Karabakh.
Congratulate everyone with...
And the symbol of the new century of Turkey. This drone has been called many things for its role and contribution in destroying enemy equipment and personnel. While Turkish drone sales are breaking new records worldwide in the Russian-Ukrainian war, the hero of songs and writings has slowly but surely been relegated to secondary roles. So let's try together to understand the secret of the past success of Turkish drones in the early months of the war, and why the Turkish bird is not as effective right now, and whether the legendary Bayraktar can soon return to the pedestal of weaponry. Despite the fact that Turkey has been a member of NATO since 1952, the country did not have any combat drones in its arsenal. The supply of drones to Turkey was prohibited due to its disagreements with the United States regarding the Kurds. While for the United States, the Kurds are a situational ally in Iraq and Syria, for Turkey they are outright separatists. Therefore, in equipping its army with drones, Turkey had to rely solely on its own resources. One such resource became the private company Baykar Makina. The Bayraktar TB2 is an operational tactical strike unmanned aerial vehicle whose first successful flight took place in 2014. Despite the abundance of various videos showing the Bayraktar successfully striking enemy equipment, the main purpose of the Turkish bird is still reconnaissance.
It is often called a strike drone, but its strike capability is minimal. There you go. So in fact, it is a reconnaissance complex with some capabilities for using munitions, is the guided munitions. It is mainly intended for reconnaissance, quite deep reconnaissance, because either for prolonged reconnaissance, if not penetrating enemy territory, but observing it from one's own territory. That is, it is capable, for example, of staying in flight for an entire day.
Despite the fact that the strike actions of this drone look much more impressive, the effectiveness of the drone is not guaranteed by the missiles with munitions.
What is a drone? What is its value? Its value, first and foremost, is the flyer system. It's like a sort of ball in the nose section. Under the nose section, yes, which houses several cameras. A reconnaissance system. There is an optoelectronic camera, usually an infrared camera, and if there are also strike functions, well, and sometimes even without the strike function, there is either a laser rangefinder or a laser guidance system. This ball in the nose section is the main value of the drone.
The successful use of the drone by Ukrainian and Azerbaijani military forces has significantly impacted the global market. Sales of the Bayraktar have increased more than 80 times over the past 4 years. In 2019, according to the Defense Aerospace Portal, Turkey was able to sell only 6 Bayraktar TB2 drones. But by the end of 2023, it is planned that these drones will be in service with more than 30 armies worldwide, with orders exceeding 500 units. Interestingly, the Turkish drone began setting records even during its test flights. At that time, the Bayraktar TB2 UAV broke the world record among drones in its class for flight duration, which at that moment was 24 hours and 34 minutes. The technical specifications of the Turkish bird are as follows. The dimensions are impressive. The length of the drone is 6.5 meters. The wingspan is 12. The payload capacity is 55 kilograms, and the takeoff weight is 650. The maximum speed of the drone is 222 kilometers per hour. The cruising speed is slightly more than 130. The operational range, or in other words, the communication range with the control center, is from 150 kilometers in older models to 300 kilometers in the updated version of the drone. The autonomy is up to 27 hours, and the ceiling altitude is 8,200 meters. The price of the drone, depending on the equipment, ranges from $1 to $5 million. The drone is armed with 4 bombs, or 2 weighing 8 kilograms and 2 weighing 20 kilograms. While the 8-kilogram bombs are only effective against trucks and cars, the 20-kilogram bombs, especially those equipped with a shaped-charge warhead, can destroy an entire tank. The operation of the drone is managed by 3 operators at the ground control center.
So the ground crew consists of 3 people. Well, one of them is the pilot. The second is the weapon systems operator, who handles targeting and is not a mandatory crew member. In the case of reconnaissance functions, it's sufficient to have the pilot and the third member, the surveillance operator, who actually operates the webcam, located in the flyer system, in the sphere at the front.
It is impossible to overestimate the role of the Bayraktar at the start of the full-scale war. The enormous contribution of the Turkish drones in defeating the occupiers near Kyiv, Sumy and Chernihiv is explained quite simply. Dreaming of a blitzkrieg, the occupier forgot about the threat from the sky.
There was such a thing as mixed combat formations, the so-called layered cake, where here are ours, there are the Russians, here are ours, there are the Russians, right? There was not even any focal air defense. The Bayraktars in general felt like fish in water. They tracked enemy columns, tracked crossings, tracked supply lines, precisely directed our artillery there, and accurately deployed sabotage groups to vulnerable spots, right? And in general, their information was invaluable.
As of today, the influence of the Bayraktars on the front has significantly decreased. After certain defense lines were established, along which hundreds of enemy air defense systems operate, the losses of these expensive drones have significantly increased, and their effectiveness in both reconnaissance and striking has only decreased. But as is known, when one door closes, another opens.
The Bayraktar has found a new important role. If it is elevated, it serves as a relay. So the Bayraktars are engaged in relaying. The drone transmits signals to the operator through them.
And while the Bayraktar faithfully serves as a relay, the Turkish company is working on expanding the capabilities of these drones, including taking into account the conditions dictated by the modern battlefield. For example, in the near future, the TB2s are expected to receive mini-cruise missiles, Kemenkesh, the so-called air defense killers, which can destroy targets at a distance of 200 kilometers. Considering, first, the very close ties of the Turkish company with Ukraine and the Ukrainian armed forces, it is logical to assume that the Ukrainian armed forces may be the first to receive and test the so-called air defense killers in combat conditions. That's all for now. Don't forget to write in the comments about which types of weapons you would like to learn more about. Like this video, and of course, subscribe to our channel, so you don't miss new episodes of Arsenal.